Krishna Maharaj, Danuk Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, my obeisances, all glories to Prabhupada.
Maharaj, your mic is on mute, Maharaj.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. So we can begin? Is it okay to begin?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Danuk Pranam. Yes, Maharaj, you can start the class.
Okay. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prushtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Pai Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome everybody to our Bhakti Vaibhava class. We're studying Canto 6 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we're on chapter number 11, right? In the last chapter, we heard about how Dadichi gave up his body. He sacrificed his body for the demigods, because Indra came and requested Dadichi if he could give the bones from his body. So Dadichi was very kind and cooperative. He was very rich in austerity, and he was willing to give up his body to allow the demigods to get the bones, and with the bones and with the help of Vishwakarma, they could make a nice weapon for Indra. And the idea is that with this weapon, Indra will be able to kill Vṛtrāsura. Vṛtrāsura is the enemy of the demigods. So we heard how the demigods became very powerful again. Previously they had been defeated by the demons, but this time when the demons tried to attack the demigods cut all the things which the demons threw at them. The demigods just cut it all into pieces. The demons were throwing their missiles and their arrows and everything they could. They even started to throw trees and rocks. But the demigods could just cut it all into pieces and became dust. So the demons were shocked to see the power of the demigods. And the demons turned and ran from the battlefield. You always come when I'm giving class, Just put some little bit of milk in here. Just add it in. So the demons were running away from the battlefield. But Vṛtrāsura, he doesn't run away. Vṛtrāsura is not that kind of person. Right? We heard in the last class, we were hearing about how one should die a hero's death. And there were two conditions, right? Who remembers what were the two conditions to die a hero's death?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Guru Maharaj, one was die while fighting on the battlefield.
Yeah, to die on the battlefield, right. That was one.
And the other one is to adopt Bhakti Yoga and then...
Yes, to give up one's body, absorbed in thought of the Lord, in samadhi or mystic trance, taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So both these ways are glorious deaths. It's the death of a hero. Prabhupada said, we don't want to die like cats and dogs. In Bhagavad Gita, it also describes you can die in the mode of ignorance, or die in the mode of passion, or die in the mode of goodness. And according to what mode you die in, you will go to that mode in the next life. So a devotee, he wants to leave the body in good consciousness. Ideally, you want to be hearing the holy name, or in the association of devotees, at least. We gave some examples in the last class. So when the demons were running away from the battlefield, it was very cowardly of them to run away. And the demigods also didn't behave very well, because the demigods came chasing after the demons, and they tried to hit them and attack them from behind. So Vṛtrāsura was very disturbed to see all this. What did Vṛtrāsura have to say about their behavior? Who knows? Anybody been reading the text? You will know what happens.
They are like covered, according to Vṛtrāsura, those who are fleeing from the battlefield, as well as the demigods were trying to attack those who were fleeing. So it is not an act of...
And how did Vṛtrāsura compare them? What did he say they were like?
Like they were stool.
Yes. Why? Why did he say they were stool?
Because they were not doing their duties. They are like worthless.
Yeah, the stool comes from the stomach of the mother. The child also comes from the stomach of the mother. So they come out from the same place. And if one is not a hero, then it's not very pleasing or satisfying for the mother that the son is cowardly. So Vṛtrāsura said like that to them, that you people are like stool coming from the mother's body. You should fight like heroes. But you're cowardly, so you're just like the stool. And Prabhupada quotes Tulsidas, a great poet. He said that just like urine and the child, they both come from the same channel. So if the child is not a good devotee, if he doesn't have good qualities, then the mother or the father think, no need to have a child, but this child is just like urine. It has no more value than urine. Or sometimes they say, Chanakya Pandit, he says, it's like a blind eye. The son who is not a devotee and who is not a hero, has no good qualities, then the son is compared to a bad eye. The bad eye just gives you trouble. You can't see anything with it, but it just gives you a lot of trouble. So in the same way, a child or the son who is not a devotee and who is not a hero, then no good. Waste of time to have the child, right? This is the point. So, very important. If we want Krishna conscious children, bringing children into the world. The Srimad Bhagavatam says, don't become a mother and father unless you can deliver your children from birth and death. But the son can also deliver the parents. The son is called Putra, the one who saves a father from going to hell. So if you get a good son, it's a great blessing for the father. So Prabhupada said how, of course, he was born in a Vaishnava family, and his Guru Maharaj, Om Vishnupad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, was also born in a devotee family. So it's very good birth. You get a good birth, it's a good start to life. But birth is not birth only. One still has to go on and develop his devotion and develop the qualities of the devotee. Bhakti Thakur had many children, but they didn't all take up the preaching mission. There was Lalit Kumar, and there was our own Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I think only two of them really helped a little bit. Lalit Kumar, he didn't really do much. Okay, so Vṛtrāsura rebukes the demons, and he rebukes the demigods also, because the demigods are also not behaving properly. Why not? What are the demigods doing wrong? Who can say?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, they are chasing the enemies from behind and trying to kill them.
So, what's wrong with that?
That's against the law of fighting.
What is the law?
You should fight with someone who is in front of you, equipped with the weapon. You should not fight with someone who doesn't have a weapon on.
Right. They should be face to face. They should be equally matched. It should be a fair fight. And if people are running away, then they're cowards. Just leave them. Let them go. So Vṛtrāsura was disgusted. The demigods and the demons, they were both not behaving properly. And he chastised them. So then Indra comes by. And Indra, although he's got his weapon made from the bones of the Dīci, Indra threw his club at Vṛtrāsura. He threw this club. Now Indra's, he's powerful. He's the king of heaven. He's very powerful. And he threw this club with all of his might at Vṛtrāsura. And what does Vṛtrāsura do? He catches it with his left hand. With his left hand, he catches it. The left hand, that's right. That's the dirty hand. It's the hand you use to clean the body. Right? When we eat food, we eat with the right hand. And when we clean the body, we use the left hand. So Vṛtrāsura showed his contempt for Indra by catching the weapon of Indra with his left hand. And then he takes it and he hits Indra's elephant, Airavata, and he beats it with the club, and blood comes out from the mouth of Airavata, the elephant. And he knocks the elephant back 14 yards. And when he hit the elephant, it made a great sound. And all the demigods and the demons, they heard it. They were all shocked. And they saw Vṛtrāsura, what he'd done, how he'd hit the elephant with that club. They were all appreciating. They said, "Oh, great hero. This Vṛtrāsura is so powerful." The big, huge elephant of Indra was knocked back and injured, and Indra even fell off. Indra was riding on the back of Airavata. He was sitting up there on top of Airavata, and he fell off because the elephant got knocked back. Could you imagine knocking back an elephant 14 feet, 14 yards? I see the elephants here in Mayapur. They're so heavy, so big. Cannot imagine moving one of them even an inch. But Vṛtrāsura was so powerful that he knocked this Airavata, who is a celestial elephant. He's very special, not an ordinary elephant. He could knock him back 14 yards and knock Indra off. So it was a big shock. But Vṛtrāsura, he doesn't take advantage. He doesn't take advantage. He doesn't think, now I'm going to come and I'll kill Indra. Because he thinks, Vṛtrāsura, he follows the etiquette, he follows the laws. And he lets Indra get down. He wants Indra to get his weapon. He wants Indra to have a fair battle with him. So he leaves Indra and he leaves Airavata, he leaves them, and Vṛtrāsura doesn't worry about them anymore. So Indra, he came by and he saw Airavata's bleeding. So Indra has magic power, he has mystic power, and he used this mystic power to heal the wounds of Airavata. The elephant was really injured, he was really hurt by the beating of Vṛtrāsura, but Indra could heal it. Indra, just by his hands, he rubbed the elephant, and immediately the elephant's sore and the pain and the injury was all cured. So that was Indra. He took care of his elephant. And then after he gets the elephant taken care of, then Indra stands beside the elephant and he sees Vṛtrāsura in front of them. So there's a conversation takes place between the two of them. It's really actually Vṛtrāsura. Vṛtrāsura is doing all the talking. Vṛtrāsura is talking to Indra. Right? What's he saying? What's he going to say to Indra? We'll have a look. Let's see the text here.
Maharaj,
Yes?
here he reminded Indra's act of killing the Brahmana Vṛtrāsura, who treated him as a priest.
Ah, that's the first thing he says to Indra, right?
Yeah. Then second thing he said, we should depend on the Lord Vishnu for everything.
Okay, let's look at this first statement of Indra. Let me, just a minute. I just wanted to share the text. Okay. Let's see, we're up to, I think we're up to, okay, we're up to about text 14 here in our, as we're going through the chapter. Or text 13 even. Yes, as Maharaji said, Vṛtrāsura begins by really insulting the pride of Indra. He wants Indra to know, he said, you know, you're the king of heaven, but you're really low class. You're really nobody. Because you killed your guru, right? Vṛtrāsura was actually, he's the brother of Vishwarup is the brother of Vṛtrāsura. Vṛtrāsura is coming to fight with Indra, and he's telling him, you killed my brother. And my brother was your guru, and he was your priest. And you hired him to do the yajna, to do the sacrifice for you. But then you killed him. So what kind of person are you? You're really a low-class person. You have no good qualities. Vṛtrāsura is really laying it on to Indra. He's letting him know what kind of person you are, Indra. That you could do this kind of thing. That you hired him to be your priest. You wanted him to do the yajna for you, and he did it, and he did it nicely, and you killed him. So what kind of person are you that you could kill your guru? So, like this, Indra is, doesn't have much to say because he knows he's guilty. So described here in text 13, it says, thinking of Indra's sinful activities, he became mad with lamentation and forgetfulness. Laughing sarcastically, he spoke as follows. Right, going on text 14, Vṛtrāsura said, he who was killed a Brahmana. So to kill a Brahmana, of course, that's a very sinful thing to do. To kill a Brahmana, get a lot of karma for that. But Indra did this, he killed a Brahmana and killed this, not just any Brahmana, but this is actually his spiritual master, and he's the brother of Vṛtrāsura. And so Vṛtrāsura tells Indra, he said, when I pierce your heart, then I will get revenge for my brother. And Vṛtrāsura has a trident, he has his trishu, he's come to fight, he's got a big trishu, huge trishu, he's a big demon, very big demon, Vrita, one who's everywhere. Just from his name we can understand how ferocious, how terrible he must have been. And he has this big trident, and he tells Indra, I'm going to when I pierce your heart, then even the fire will not burn you. Your body will be food for the vultures or for the jackals. That's what will happen to you. This is what Vritta says to Indra. He said, your body. But there's an alternative, right? He said, yeah, if I kill you, Indra, that's what will happen to you. But what will happen if Indra kills Vṛtrāsura? Who can say? Anybody knows what happens if Indra kills Vṛtrāsura?
This is actually the wish of Lord Vishnu. So Vṛtrāsura is telling to Indra that if you actually killed me, then I will actually go back home, back to Godhead. So this is the wish of the Lord.
Yeah.
This is Lord's desire.
Right, yeah, this is a nice point. That if Indra will use his weapon, his thunderbolt weapon, which was given to him, then he can kill Vṛtrāsura. Actually, Indra has not really understood the power of that weapon, the thunderbolt weapon. In the beginning, I told about how he used the club, and he threw the club at Vṛtrāsura. So when the club was not successful, because Vṛtrāsura could catch it, and then he came and he hit Airavata, the elephant, with it. So Indra thought, oh, my weapon is no good. He thought the club was no good, so he thought maybe these bones won't be any good either. So Indra was not properly appreciating the value of this weapon which he had. He should have proper appreciation for the weapon, because remember, it was the instruction of Lord Vishnu. And just the fact that it was Lord Vishnu who told him to go and make this weapon, this is an indication that the weapon must be very powerful and that certainly can kill Vṛtrāsura. But Indra's not thinking like that. Indra's, although he's got the weapon, it's got that thunderbolt weapon, he wasn't thinking to use it. He'd thrown the club, and that had been defeated, and now he's thinking, oh, I don't have any weapon now. But Vṛtrāsura is telling him, no, you have the weapon, you have this thunderbolt, and this is the instruction of Lord Vishnu, so it's very powerful. And Vritra's encouraging Indra that you have this weapon, you can kill me. You can kill me now. While I fix my mind on the Lord, on the lotus feet of Lord Sankarshan, you can kill me. Indra is Vṛtrāsura is very intelligent. He understands that if he can die while his mind is fixed on the Lord, then certainly his next life destination will be very special, very good. So Vṛtrāsura wants to encourage Indra to use this weapon, use this thunderbolt weapon, and to kill Vṛtrāsura. But Indra's not sure about it. Somehow he's hesitating. Anyway, Vṛtrāsura is speaking to him, and Vṛtrāsura is really giving heavy language to Indra. He says, you're a very low-class person, you're a disgusting person, He says, when I pierce your heart with my trident, then I shall be free from all doubts. I'll be free from the debt to my brother. So this is Vṛtrāsura's thinking, that you killed my brother, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to get revenge on you. This appears to be the thinking of Vṛtrāsura, but we will see as we go on, Vṛtrāsura is not just he's not just thinking to get revenge. Vṛtrāsura is actually very rich in devotion. If he just wanted revenge, he knows that's not going to be good for his bhakti. Arjuna, he didn't want just to get revenge, and Krishna didn't tell any of his devotees, get revenge. No, do your duty, do what's expected of you, but don't be lazy and mischievous and just don't do nonsense. So Vṛtrāsura said, he says to Indra, I will pierce your heart with my trident. But then he says, if the demigods come to help you, if the other demigods come to help you, then I will cut their heads off as well, and I'll use their heads to worship Bhairava, and with their heads we will call all the leaders of the ghosts to come, and we'll offer these heads to them. Not a very pleasant business, not a very pleasant topic of discussion, but this is the nature of war. This is the nature of this conflict between the demigods and the demons. And Vṛtrāsura, he has to speak in this way because he wants them to understand. He wants all these demigods to understand why he's fighting them. That Indra had killed his brother, and he's come, he's taken his birth. One reason is to help to establish the Dharma, but the other reason is also to give people bhakti yoga and to help them to understand Krishna. Many people, they may know Bhagavad Gita, but they don't always understand the importance of Lord Krishna or the process of bhakti. They've got some other ideas from it. Some people, they read the Bhagavad Gita and they forget totally about Krishna. It's incredible. They talk about Bhagavad Gita and never talk about Krishna. So we don't want that. We want people to develop some appreciation for Lord Krishna. Even before Lord Krishna's appearance, right? We're talking about Indra and Brahma. This is before the Kali Yuga, long before the Kali Yuga. This is at the time of the end of the Satya Yuga and the beginning of the Treta Yuga. So this time the demigods and the demons, they had a big fight. And the demons are in fear, they're afraid of the demigods. But Vṛtrāsura is not afraid. He stayed to face the demigods. He's not going to run away. All right, so what we want you to do, we have an exercise for you. We want you to analyze the thinking of Indra. What was the fault? What faults did Indra do in his dealings in this lila, in this pastime, in this encounter with Vṛtrāsura? Because we know Indra he's not really the hero. It's Vṛtrāsura who's the hero. So what were the faults that we can find in Indra's character in his dealings in this situation. Once we see the faults of Indra, then we know what we also have to be aware of in dealing in similar situations. So, who's going to put how many devotees have we got here tonight?
We have 16, Maharaj.
16, okay, so 4 groups.
We can make, 4 groups we can make, Maharaj.
4 groups of 4, and we want you to analyze it, come up with the faults Indra made in his dealings with Vṛtrāsura.
Okay.
Alright? Just like that.
Yes,
Analyze this encounter between the Vṛtrāsura and Indra, and what was his mistakes. We'll give you what, 7 minutes?
Okay.
7-8 minutes, because you need time to go in, time to come out. The whole thing's going to take 10 minutes. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Maharaj, I'll say in the moment, Maharaj. Okay, group 1 will be Amrita Padma Mataji, Kalpataru Janva, Prerna Mataji, and Radha Madhav. Group 2 is Nandkishore Prabhu, Om Govind Prabhu, Parmanand, Patit Pawan, and also myself. Then group 3 is Revati Gopi Mataji, Seva Padma Mataji, Sheetala Mataji. Okay, three of you only. Venkat Gopinath Prabhu, you join group number 2.
Prabhu, your group, right?
Yeah. I'll put you there. Okay, before that I'll add group. I'll put these 3 Matajis there. Shobha Yashoda, Shubhangi Mataji, Suguna Vrinda Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Mataji. Without unmuting myself, I was talking loud, I think. Sorry.
Really?
Sorry. I talked all everything. Now only I realized. Very sorry. Yeah, Mataji actually, as from my side, actually, I thought that he made 2 mistakes. First 2 mistakes are, as per the instruction of the Lord, he actually he posted Vishwarupa. He approached Vishwarupa and actually asked him, when I asked him to act as a spiritual master, he requested by the instruction of the Lord. Later, he doesn't have faith on him, so he killed Vishwarupa, the Brahmana.
Yeah.
Similarly, by the instruction of the Lord, actually, he got the bones from the Vichi and he made a thunderbolt with that. And actually, the Lord instructed him that this is using this weapon, he can actually kill Vṛtrāsura. But again, he doesn't have full faith on that. So he was wondering that whether the weapon is having lack of faith on the instruction of the Lord.
Instead of that, he used this club. He used this. First he used that, and it was a failure. And then again he used that that thunderbolt.
That one also he was not sure. He was actually stood up silently. No, he didn't use it immediately.
He has no full faith in that. And actually, then another mistake is he was always want to protect his throne,
Position.
his position. Yeah, position. He was always want to keep that position. He is afraid that others will take his position.
What do you think the reason is why he lacks faith in the Guru and in the why is it he's so weak in faith?
Sorry, Maharaj?
Why is it, Indra hasn't got faith? Why he has no faith in Guru?
Because actually the Guru acted for both the sides. Like he was feeling that he is supporting the demigods as well as he was supporting the Daityas also, the Asuras also. So he was thinking that if the Asuras also actually become powerful, then again it will affect his position.
And before Vishwarupa, he was proud of his opulence, and that's why he neglected Brahaspati, first Guru. And then second time he got it Vishwarupa, and that also he was not because Vishwarupa was assisting that demons, so he killed Vishwarupa also. So he was not. He was ready to kill their Guru also. That much he was not faith in the Guru also.
Life is cheap for him, huh? He'll kill anyone who opposes, anyone who gets in the way of his sense gratification.
Yes, yeah.
To maintain his power, to maintain his position.
Yeah. He's very attached. And he wants to continue, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
he wants to keep his position.
Yeah. He was proud. He want to be the Indra always. He want to be the king of the demigods. He doesn't want to give that position to anybody. Always he is afraid of his if somebody will take his position or what. Always he's like.
Material attachment is a big problem.
His throne, he was attached to that throne.
And the more one has opulence, then the more attached we are. So, being the king of heaven, not very good for spiritual advancement, is it? Not very good for spiritual progress.
Yes.
Yes.
So much sense gratification and opulence make it difficult to remember Krishna. To remember.
He was proud of that.
Okay, thank you. I'll leave you to it. Hare Krishna.
Ek minute, Prabhupada, I'll make the notes. 1 minute.
Have you got some good notes, good points?
Maharaj, you're on mute, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Yes?
Your mic is mute.
Oh.
Maharaj came to see what we are doing.
Yeah, I came to see how you're doing. Are you coming up with some reasons for Indra's...
Yes, Maharaj, we came up with 5 points.
Oh. Yeah? Okay, wait. What, you want to tell me some of them? What have you got?
I will share Maharaj now.
Well, I can wait. Okay, you've got 5 points, yeah? And you understand Indra's problem, huh?
Yes, Maharaj.
Have you got the solution to his problems?
We will discuss that now, Maharaj.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna, how are you doing?
Yes, Mataji, you tell Mataji, I am just listening. Radha Mataji, you know no Dharma, Artha, Kama, and because of all... Mataji, contra question I will be there. Another extra by force 21, 22. 22 is the main thing.
Okay, do you have some good... have you managed to come... Hare Krishna, have you come up with some good reasons for Indra's perplexity? For Indra's situation?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Have you managed to come up with some reasons? Have you analyzed the situation?
Yes, Maharaj. The main thing is Indra has killed spiritual master and the qualified Brahmana, and also more than that elder brother of Vṛtrāsura. And why he did that one is mainly because of his pride, which is there in verse number 22. Because of his pride and he is materially opulent, that and dharma, artha, kama, and mental agitation, anxiety, and these things, these are the things which made him to do like that. And always he will be engrossed materially. He is not always in Krishna conscious.
Right. So, why? What's his problem?
He is always he is always in sense gratification. That is the main problem.
No.
He is lauding himself materially.
Strong. Too many material desires, eh?
Yes, Maharaj.
So what's the solution? How would you advise him if Indra was to come to you? How would you advise him?
Like because of devotee association, and oftenly he is getting problems, so he will go to see the Lord Krishna. He will always seek help of all demigods will seek help of Krishna, and to get rid of these battles and everything. Actually, Indra's position itself is like that. he is always in materially inclined. He is always in sense gratification. So the position itself is like that. He cannot become always 100% Krishna conscious.
Any way you can help him? Someone in that situation, what should he do? Maybe he should resign. Give up being Indra. Step down.
Yes, Maharaj. He has to leave everything and he has to do devotion service. Then only he can come out of all this. Pure devotion service.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, he have to leave this position. It is necessary, or
well, well, we're going to talk about it in a minute. I'll wait till we get everybody together and we'll discuss it more. I think we should do that now. We'll finish the discussion. We'll get everybody together. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can we finish the meetings now?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
We bring everybody.
Maharaj, actually I got disconnected from Zoom, so now I'm waiting outside.
You're outside. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll get we'll break. Who made the groups?
Jai Govind Prabhu made the group.
Jai Govind Prabhu. We should end the meeting now. Bring everybody back.
I think he's not here. I'll WhatsApp him and tell him that.
Which group is he in?
He's in group number 2.
Can we break the room, Prabhu?
Yes, we should.
Time up, right?
Yes, break the room, right.
Maharaj will be waiting. Maharaj, can we close the meeting, Maharaj?
Yes, please, close the meeting.
Breakout room will close, we'll join the main session, Maharaj.
Right. Okay, so I think we'll hear from group 4 first of all. There were 2 ladies there. Group 4, they had a good understanding of the situation. Group 4, the spokesman. Is everyone back?
Material opulence only. And here in this case also, when he dropped his weapon, he is afraid to take it, thinking that it may not work. Okay, anyway, we'll discuss, Maharaj something.
All right, so...
Maharaj, other devotees has to join, Maharaj. I'll close all the rooms, yeah?
Okay, please, yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, happy belated birthday.
Hare Krishna. Bless me that I never have to take birth again.
Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna. You have to bless us, Maharaj, so we can do parikrama with you.
Tell them to close everywhere.
Okay, is everyone here now?
Yeah, Maharaj, they are coming back, Maharaj, one by one.
Not everybody got in the group. Some people got locked out.
Okay, in 4 seconds it will close, Maharaj.
Okay.
Okay. So all are back, Maharaj.
Okay, very good. So we'd like, you have a spokesman for each group, I assume? Someone's the spokesman?
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, who's a spokesperson for group 1?
Okay, so who's the spokesman for group 1?
Amrita Padmavati Guniti.
All right, can you tell us what you discussed?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Already I told the reasons, Maharaj.
Well, you want to tell everyone. Everyone needs to hear.
Okay. Hare Krishna. The main this thing is Indra has killed the qualified Brahmana, especially the spiritual master and the elder brother of Vṛtrāsura. So this was the mistake, and also other than this, why he has done like that? It is because of he was materially too opulent. At the same time, the agitation, pride, and the enmity, anxiety, all these things are developmental agitation because of all these things. And also in verse number 23 it is given like dharma, artha and kama, that is religion, economic development and sense gratification. All these things which these are the main things which made him to do these things. And he is always materially inclined, materially he is not in Krishna conscious. So the tendency is always, Maya is always occupied him to do any kind of mistakes.
You said Maya engaged him to do these mistakes. What was the cause? What was his Maya?
Maya is material inclination.
Why he's got this material inclination?
Because heaven, that position is too much attached, and that made him too much attached to material sense gratification.
So what can be done? What can be done to correct him? What's he lacking? What's he lacking?
He has to listen to, he has to respect the spiritual master, he has to do the religion, and main thing is he has to be in Krishna conscious. Then only it is possible for him to come out of the Maya. And
he has a spiritual master.
He has the spiritual master, but he is not following and he is not doing any spiritual master words, and because of material attachment. It is the lesson for us also, like we should follow our Guru's words strictly, adherently, then only we can progress in Krishna consciousness.
So in order to follow the spiritual master, what do we require? What is
association?
Devotees association?
we should be meek, humble. But Indra was very pride.
There's one thing very important. One thing you have to have in the spiritual master. If you're going to follow the spiritual master, you have to have one quality which is very important.
We should be meek and humble and faith.
Faith, that's right. That's the word. That's the word I wanted to hear from you. Faith. The faith has to be very strong. You have to have that faith in the Guru. If we don't have faith in the words of the spiritual master, then you can see what happens, you see. Indra, he took the Guru, but he didn't have faith. He didn't understand the importance of having faith in the instructions of the spiritual teacher. And so he got problems. Of course, materially, is he a success? Materially, is Indra a success?
No, actually no.
Why not?
Because always he was having problems. He is always dependent, and he is always in a fearful state only when about his position.
Well, that's always going to be there in material world.
Yes, ma'am.
He had his material facilities, right? He has his position. He kept his position. He's a demigod. He has a duty to perform.
Yes, Maharaj, but he was too pride. And he was not keeping, though materially he was there, he was not keeping Krishna in center. That aham, I, my, mine, that one was there with him all the time.
Yes, but those are spiritual qualities. That is, materially, he had everything.
Yes.
Materially, he's a success. He won the battle. He led the demigods. They defeated Vṛtrāsura. We will see even how he kills Vṛtrāsura. So, he won the battle. Materially, he's success. But, who is the real hero? That is only known by the devotees. Only the devotees can understand. And we can understand by hearing the words of Vṛtrāsura, how Vṛtrāsura speaks, what are his qualities? What's the difference with Vṛtrāsura and Indra? What's the difference between the two of them? Apart from one's a demon and one's a devotee, one's on the side of the demigods, one's on the side of the demons. What's the difference in their qualities, or in their desires even?
Actually, Maharaj, shall I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Indra is always, he wants possessions, material possessions, but Vṛtrāsura, he will never wanted any material possessions. And Indra is always, in pride, but Vṛtrāsura is always humble, meek, and he was he was not at all working very hard to labor very hard.
What does Vṛtrāsura want?
Vṛtrāsura always want devotee, unalloyed devotion. He always liked to do unalloyed devotion.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants. Vṛtrāsura's not interested to stay in the material world. So that's why he's encouraging Indra, kill me. Kill me. I don't mind. Body's going to die one day anyway, so use your thunderbolt. Vishnu has given you the thunderbolt, so it's got all the potency of Vishnu. It's meant to kill me. Vṛtrāsura knows that Indra's got the thunderbolt, and he knows it was given by Vishnu. So he knows it's meant to kill him. But Vṛtrāsura is not worried about it. He's saying, go ahead, kill me. I'll be happy. Because why will Vṛtrāsura be happy? Because he will get the association of great souls, of devotees. When he's freed of his demonic body, he'll be able to go back to Godhead and get the association of devotees. So the important point in this is the faith. Indra doesn't have faith in the words, he doesn't have faith in Vishnu even. Vishnu gave him the Vajra, that thunderbolt weapon, and Indra's hesitating to use it because when he used the club, he failed. So he thought, I couldn't do anything with the club. I won't be able to do anything with these bones either. This weapon made out of the bones of the Dichi, this won't do any good either. So Indra's faith is so weak. He doesn't have faith in Vishnu. He didn't have faith in the Guru. And this is the problem. Faith is so important. We have to have faith. As Mataji said, we have to have faith in the instructions of the Guru. How much faith? The verse is, Yasha deve parabhaktir yata deve tata guru. You have equal faith in the words of Guru and in God. You should have the same faith in Guru as you have in God. Because Guru is the representative of God. So practically they're non-different. Indra, however, is lacking. Let's hear from another group. Group number 2.
Yeah, Venkat Gopinath Prabhu.
Tell us what you discussed.
Yeah, Maharaj. Maharaj, here Lord Vishnu has given a solution to Indra. Again, as discussed previously, Indra didn't have the faith. So he had a doubt whether if I use this thunderbolt, will Vṛtrāsura will be killed or not. So he didn't have the faith. And Vṛtrāsura also reminded about to Indra about that he's killing the spiritual master, is the Guru. So that also he reminded. And here Vṛtrāsura also telling Indra that the right perspective of the death, like the main purpose. So how to have the glorified death, like so the death is going to come for everyone. So do fearlessly do whatever you want. So that's what he is telling Indra, that you to have faith, and then this is given by Vishnu, so you should have faith and you should go ahead, kill me. That's what he also is telling about this. And here Maharaj, as discussed previously, so Indra was he was attached to the material position. So even though Lord Vishnu came in front of Indra and guided him, so but still he was having the attachment with the metal, his metal position. So he was he was actually worried. So this, so the Vṛtrāsura made him realize this, and this is actually indirectly Lord Vishnu was actually favorable to Vṛtrāsura rather than Indra, because by getting killed by the thunderbolt from Indra, so Vṛtrāsura would go back to Godhead. So even so, if Indra is victorious, so he will be still staying in this material world. So so Lord Vishnu was favorable to Vṛtrāsura. So Maharaj, the solution, what we discussed, Maharaj. So you should have a pure, unalloyed devotion, and then one solution, Indra should have stopped the fight and just surrendered to Vṛtrāsura. So accept him as a guru and surrender totally, so that you would also got the mercy of the Lord, and then you would have definitely gone back to Godhead. But this could not happen because of his material attachment.
Well, I don't know if it's not really Indra's duty to surrender to the demons, because Indra's got a responsibility as the king of heaven, as the leader of the demigods. He has to, they administer, they see the affairs of the universe on behalf of the Lord. So Indra can't just give up. He can't just surrender and say, I'm going to go back to Godhead. Indra's the king of heaven. He's got a duty there. So it's not really, his position to just say, okay, I surrender. They're both demons. They're both devotees. Vṛtrāsura is a devotee and Indra is a devotee. But they have different ideas about what they want, you see. They have different purposes in mind. And Indra's purpose, he wants, as you say, he wants the sense gratification, and he wants the opulence. He wants, his position in the heavenly planets. He has his position there. He's got to keep up his position. So he wants to keep that. And Vṛtrāsura, he's a devotee also, but he's in the demon body, and he wants just to get out of that body. Because he knows once he gets out of that demon body, he will go back to Godhead. So he's it's an interesting situation. Devotees, two devotees fighting each other. One has one purpose, one has another purpose. But it's all in the hands of the Lord. So the Lord arranges these situations. The Lord could have prevented it, but it's in order to allow Vṛtrāsura to go back to Godhead quicker. As we'll hear, as we go on in the canto, in the 6th canto, we'll hear how Vṛtrāsura got that body. Then previously it's Chitraketu, and that it was arranged that he got cursed, so that he could go back to Godhead quicker. It helped him to get rid of all of his karma. Because to go back to Godhead, you have to get free of all your karma. So this was how the Lord arranged for Chitraketu to get free of all his karma. He became the demon. He got the demon body, and he has to fight Indra. And we'll see how they fight. So Chitraketu's not attached to the material body. He knows, especially when you have a body like that, you don't want to keep it. Just like Gajendra. Gajendra also had the elephant body. He also hated it. Let me out of this body. When the Lord came and killed the crocodile, Gajendra complained. He said, you killed him, you liberated him. Why didn't you liberate me? What about me? I'm in this elephant body. I also want to get out of this body. Not very easy to be in the body of a demon. Not very easy to be Indra, the king of heaven. So much opulence, so much temptation and sense gratification. The mind becomes bewildered. So to go back to Godhead from the heavenly planets, very difficult. Very difficult, because so much sense gratification. So even the demigods, they come down here to do bhakti yoga. Because to do bhakti yoga in heaven is very difficult. Just so much sense gratification. People cannot control. So Indra has that problem. He gets overwhelmed. Sense gratification. You have to have very strong faith in the orders of Krishna and the Guru. If you don't follow the instructions of Krishna and Guru, then you cannot expect to make spiritual progress. You cannot expect to get the mercy of Krishna or Guru if we don't follow the instructions. So it's very important. Indra didn't follow the instructions. Okay, group number 3.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Revati Gopiman. Yeah, Maharaj, already actually 2 groups have discussed, but still I'll repeat a few points which we discussed. First is Indra's improper behavior towards his Guru Vṛtrāsura and the priest Vishwarupa. Actually, for the sake of living in heavenly planets and for his sense of gratification, here he shamelessly killed Vishwarupa, who helped them by giving the Narayana Kocha and all. And the second is, he was doubtful that Thunderbolt might also fail towards Vṛtrāsura. And he told the club, it shows that he did not understand the Lord Vishnu's order never fails. He didn't, as you told, he didn't have the complete faith in the Lord's words. That's why he didn't believe that this Vajrayuda, which is supposed to kill Vṛtrāsura, he was little doubtful. And even though he's a devotee, many times Lord came in front of him, but still he was not much interested in release from the material bondage. He wanted a sense of gratification, opulence and position, unlike Vṛtrāsura. Here Vṛtrāsura exhibited those great qualities by surrendering to the Lord Vishnu, and he wanted to, instead of choosing the position, he chose the service of the lotus feet of Lord. And here Indra represents the who always desires for sense gratification, opulence, position. They fail to understand to surrender to the Lord. That's why even though he got so many times help from Lord himself, he don't have complete faith in the Lord or his Guru. This is what we understood, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Maybe we could touch on also the danger of material opulence.
Yeah.
And how it bewilders the mind. We become attached. Alright, group 4, Maharaji. Who is the spokesman for group 4?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. This Indra, he was proud of his opulences and he was puffed up that because he is the king of the demigods, so he has obviously he has opulences and all everything. So he was puffed up with that, and because he was always anxious about his position, he was worried whether others will take over his position or that. So that's why Vishwarupa, his first he neglected his first Guru Vṛtrāsura because of his opulence and proud, and he didn't give attention to him in the first time. And after that, when he got Vishwarupa, that time also Vishwarupa was little covered about this demons. So that time also Indra was worried because he will take his position. So that's why he killed shamelessly. What Vṛtrāsura said, shamelessly he killed that Vṛtrāsura also. And then when the demigods attacked them and all, Mahavishnu appeared before them and told them to use Dadiji's bond and use that weapon to kill them. That time also he had not much faith because he was not bothered about the Krishna consciousness or all. He was always wanted that opulence only. He wanted to keep his position and that opulence. So he first he used this club only. He has not that much faith in that Vishnu weapon. So he used this club. Then he found that Vṛtrāsura easily broke that weapon, and then after that only he used that this is born. Actually, Vṛtrāsura won the battle. Actually, this Indra failed actually because Vṛtrāsura has gone back to Godhead, and Indra was again entangled in this material world only because of his attachment towards this material opulences. He was entangled in this material world only. But Vṛtrāsura was in his previous birth, he was Chitraketu. Because of that, Chitraketu's devotion, service and faith. Even though because of the curse of Parvati Devi, he took birth as an Asura, but he has all his Chitraketu's devotion, service and faith was with him. So he knew that he will go back to Godhead if Indra killed him. So he told Indra, you kill me with that weapon. So then at last he went back to Godhead, and this Indra was entangled in this material world only because of his lack of faith and his...
Okay, so is it just like that? Is it so simple? You just have to get Indra to kill you and you can go back to Godhead?
No, because Vṛtrāsura was his previous Janma, even though he was Asura, his previous Janma he was Chitraketu, that's why he went back to Godhead. He knew that...
Was it just because of his previous birth that he went back to Godhead? It was all ordained? He didn't have to do anything himself to go back to Godhead? Isn't there any qualification? Isn't it something he's supposed to do? To go back?
This birth we have to continue that Krishna consciousness service, devotional services, then only we can do.
How did he prepare himself for going back to Godhead? He didn't just tell Indra, kill me. What did he do? As he was telling Indra to kill, he said, what was he going to do? And because he thought, all right, Indra's got that weapon, he knows he's going to be killed by Indra. So what does he do in order to be sure that he goes back to Godhead? What does Vṛtrāsura do?
He did his duty very well, and for the demons he fought with Indra, and then at last he told Indra to kill him with that weapon only, that weapon with Vishnu he gave him.
But there was one thing which Vṛtrāsura did, but that in preparation for being killed, so that he would be sure to go back to Godhead. What did he... What?
Krishna Maharaj.
Huh?
Can I say, Maharaj?
Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. He was having full faith on the words of the Lord. He just followed the instruction of the Lord.
Yeah, but there's something else he did.
Maharaj, can I say?
Yes, I'm hearing now. Right, Right, he fixed his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to think of the Lord. It's not enough just mechanically to do things. We have to fix the mind, we have to prepare the mind for this time that we can think of the Lord. It's very important. Just like maybe you remember when you studied the first canto, we were reading about Bhishma Dev, how Bhishma Dev left the body. You know, he was talking for many days about so many different subject matters. He was instructing Maharaj Yudhisthira how to rule and everything. But then when it came time for him to leave the body, then he stopped all that talking. And then he fixed his mind on the Lord, and he began to remember the Lord. So this is the business of devotee. We have to also prepare ourselves for this time, that moment when we have to leave the body. We have to practice thinking of the Lord, to bring the mind to think of the Lord. How are you going to do it? Well, how did Bhishma do it? Do you remember some of the different... What was Grandfather Bhishma thinking about? How did he think of the Lord as he prepared to leave the body?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Bhishma has actually Lord Krishna physically in front of him. He has seen Krishna face to face and he fixed his mind on Krishna and then he left his body.
But he also recounted.
Yes, Hare Krishna. He was thinking about the, like how he was throwing the arrow and how the body of Lord was looking very beautiful with his, the dust of the there on the face, it was looking like a pearl. So he was thinking about the Vṛtrāsura form which he had seen in the battlefield. And he was meditating on that form of the Lord also that time.
Yes, actually, it said the destination Bhishma got is a planet, a Vaikuntha planet, where the Lord is there as Vṛtrāsura, because Bhishma was so absorbed in seeing Lord Krishna in that form of Vṛtrāsura. It said Bhishma got more mercy than Arjuna, because Arjuna was behind the Lord. He could only see the Lord from the back, because Krishna was in front driving the chariot, and Arjuna standing behind Lord Krishna. But Bhishma is directly facing Lord Krishna. So Bhishma could see the Lord. He could directly absorb his mind in the form of the Lord, and the features of the Lord. And he remembers throwing the arrows at the Lord and piercing the skin of the Lord, and how it's described. And he remembers also Krishna coming towards him at one point. Arjuna's chariot was in trouble, and Bhishma was coming to kill Arjuna, and Krishna came running with a chariot wheel, ready to throw the chariot wheel at Bhishma to save the life of Arjuna. So Bhishma remembered these different incidents. He even remembered about the gopis, and how the gopis are all glorifying Lord Krishna. And Bhishma was glorifying the gopis, how much love they had for Krishna. So like that, he was remembering, although the Lord was directly there before him, but still Bhishma was remembering these different events which had taken place. It's not that you just, oh, the Lord is there, but he was actually remembering everything the Lord had done, and the reciprocation, the dealings between Lord Krishna and his devotees. So this is how we fix the mind on the Lord. Of course, when we fix the mind on the Lord, sometimes there is a meditation process. It's described in the 3rd canto. You must have done it when you were reading Kapila Shiksha. Do you remember, Maraji? How to meditate on the different bodily limbs of the Lord? Anybody, you remember this? If you're meditating on the Lord as Paramatma, and in Astanga Yoga, they do this. They meditate on each of the different limbs progressively, beginning from the lotus feet of the Lord. Right? We have to practice thinking of the Lord. Thinking of the Lord and appreciating Him, offering prayers. Right? So every day we want to practice, we want to make some time where we really want to bring the mind to think of the Lord. Maybe first thing in the morning, maybe you go to Mangal Arti and you worship the deity there, think of the Lord. We're hearing also, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we're thinking of the Lord. And we want to bring this into our mind that we will think of the Lord. Because we all have to leave the body sometime. And at that time, when we leave the body, that's when we want to think of the Lord. That is the final exam, right? Anta kale chamameva smaran mukva kalevaram. So one who can remember the Lord at the time of death, then he can go to Him without fail. So Vṛtrāsura fixed his mind on the Lord. We're not told exactly which aspect of the Lord he was fixing his mind. Do you know? What are we told? What was Vṛtrāsura's desire? That when he's killed, he should get the association of devotees. Which devotees?
Spiritual master?
Yes. Why does he want association with the spiritual master or other people? He particularly mentions Narada Muni. Why? Why does he want to associate there? What's the advantage?
Without the mercy of devotees, we can't attain Lord's lotus feet.
Yes, we need the mercy of the devotee. Without the mercy of the devotee, we can't go back to Godhead. We have to get the blessings of the Vaishnava to go back to Godhead. So he wants to get that blessing. And he also knows that in the association of the devotee, the pure devotees, there will be discussion of Lord Krishna. There will be chanting of the holy name. There will be a vibrant Krishna conscious atmosphere. It will be awakening, it will be and that will be his impetus to go back to Godhead. Of course, Vṛtrāsura is not getting much association in his demon body. He has to be with all the demons, and even he meets Indra, and Indra's a demigod, and he's materialistic. So where's the association for Vṛtrāsura? He's a wonderful devotee. He's not getting any good association. So he's happy to be killed, give up that body, and next life he will get the association of some wonderful devotees to prepare him to go back to Godhead. We need to get the mercy of a devotee. We want to go back to Godhead. It doesn't just happen. We have to really desire it, and we have to really endeavor, control the mind, training the mind. That's why we chant japa every day. That's why we hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. That's why we do puja every day. To understand, to fix our mind thinking of the Lord. The Lord is my master, I am his servant. I am the servant of the servant. And Vṛtrāsura also prays like that. He wants to be the servant of the servant of the servant. So Vṛtrāsura gives us many wonderful points in his presentation of the Krishna conscious philosophy. Although he's just speaking in a general way to Indra, he's just decrying Indra and telling Indra, you're foolish. You're endeavoring for all of this temporary sense gratification, and the power and the position of the material world is also temporary. So you want it, you take it. And Vṛtrāsura said, just kill me. He said, just kill me. You've got that weapon, just use it. And so Indra, however, he's hesitating. What to do? So faith is a very important qualification, and fixing the mind on the Lord is part of the process. We have to prepare ourselves to be able to think of the Lord. How can we, if we, you can't think we'll just go back to Godhead. Just because we get killed by the weapon, because Indra kills us, go back to Godhead. No. We have to think of the Lord. And that way we attract the mercy of the Lord. When we think of Him, the Lord thinks of us. Right? It's mentioned like that. Sometimes people, they have to leave the body untimely. So we wonder, how could they ever think of Krishna? If you have to leave the body unconscious, how will you think of Krishna? But the idea is that we should have spent our whole life thinking of Krishna. And then even if we do have to leave the body unconscious or in an unfortunate circumstance, then Krishna will not forget us. If we didn't forget Krishna throughout our life, but somehow at the last minute we forgot Krishna, Krishna will think of us and He will save us. So we have to become detached from the body. This is very important. So surrendering, not to be bewildered by material opulence. These things are very dangerous for any devotee. Material opulence can the cause of misery. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also warns us, not that we have to give it up artificially, but the idea is don't be attached to anything. Just like it said we should be niskinchana, right? Queen Kunti said that Lord Krishna is the property of the materially impoverished. Right? Do you know that verse? Who knows the verse? Yes. Yeah, and there's also Janma Aishwarya. Yes, Akinchana Gochara, right? No, so Niskinchana. Who do we have? Who are the Niskinchana? Who's Niskinchana in our parampara? Do you know any of the acharyas in our line who are Niskinchana? Yes, right. That's the one I was thinking, right? Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. You can tell us anything about what he did? Do you remember?
I think Maharaj, once somebody gave Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj a small donation, and then after walking with it, he started feeling that I'm feeling very heavy with this, and he went and returned. I think it was 1 rupee or 1 anna. It was some very small amount, which even he didn't later want to keep it.
Also, he was chanting, he would go and chant in the public toilet because people used to come to him for blessings. And he didn't like to be troubled by the materialistic people who came for blessings. So there was one Maharaja, one ruler who had a big land, a big estate, and he was coming to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji and he was asking Gaur Kishore Das Babaji to come to his palace and to have a program and to preach there. And Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji said, no, he said, you want me to become one of your property, just like you've got so much property, you want me to also become part of your property. You've got so many servants, you want me to also serve you. And the man said, oh no, I'm your servant, I want to serve you. So then Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji said, oh really? He said, okay, then you come and sit here with me. You come and sit in the public toilet with me and we will chant together. Don't go anywhere. And so the man ran away. He was not willing to do that. But Gaur-Kishore Das Babaji, he had, Niskinchana means you don't own anything. You have nothing. So then Prabhupada said, Ramananda Rai, he was also Niskinchana. Now Ramananda Rai, what ashram is he in? Yes, he's a Grihastha, right? And what was his occupation? What was he doing?
Governor?
Yes, he was like governor in South India before he met Lord Chaitanya. After he met Lord Chaitanya, he gave it all up and came to Jagannath Puri. But Prabhupada said he was also Niskinchana. So it's not a material thing. But it's the concept that what is the consciousness? Are we thinking I'm the proprietor? Are we thinking this belongs to me, this is mine? One who is actually Niskinchana, he understands everything belongs to Krishna. And he's not just saying that, he really believes it, he understands it. So Prabhupada said, Ramananda Rai, he was also Niskinchana. He was fully aware, of course, fully conversant with all the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And that's why Lord Chaitanya took him as one of his intimate associates. Although he was not a sannyasi, but he was very spiritually advanced. And so we have to understand the spiritual position, that it's nothing to do with the body. We shouldn't be attached to the body, and we shouldn't be attached to things in relation to the body. And we're seeing from the preaching of Vṛtrāsura, how Vṛtrāsura is talking to Indra, and how Vṛtrāsura is desiring to get the association of devotees, just to be with to get to be the servant of the Vaishnavas, to hear the glories of the Lord and the association of devotees. And he says he wants to fix his mind on Lord Sankarshan. Vṛtrāsura says Lord Sankarshan. Why Lord Sankarshan? Well, it could be Lord Krishna, it could be Lord Vishnu, it doesn't matter. Any of the forms of the Lord will take us back to Godhead. Somehow, Vṛtrāsura is particularly inclined to think of Lord Sankarshan, and Lord Sankarshan is just not different really from the Supreme Lord. He is also the Supreme Lord. Okay, so then Vṛtrāsura also talks about using body, mind and words, everything in the service of the Lord. The body can engage in physical activities for the pleasure of the Lord. Within his mind, he can contemplate the qualities and pastimes of the Lord. And with his words, he can also describe the activities and the glories of the Lord. And naturally, one who has this desire, he must have the mood to be the servant. So Vṛtrāsura, although he's fighting Indra, he's thinking, It's his service. It's his service. Just like Bhishma is fighting against Krishna. What was Bhishma thinking when he's throwing arrows into Lord Krishna? Do you remember the example which is given? Bhishma's firing arrows.
Flowers.
Yes.
The roses.
Right. It's like somebody showering the person with flowers, throwing rose petals at someone. But Bhishma was firing arrows. And the wounds on Krishna.
That Guru Maharaj like love bites.
Yeah.
Love bite.
Yeah, right.
This is,
So this is the mood. And so Vṛtrāsura is also, he's got his thing. It's not exactly, we don't hear the same thing as, because Vṛtrāsura is fighting Indra. So Vṛtrāsura wants to be the servant of the servant. He wants to get this position. And Prabhupada also brings up the point about in the material world how people want opulence and sense gratification. What will determine if they get the opulence, if they get the sense gratification? What decides how much opulence somebody gets?
Past karma?
Yes, the past karma. It depends on the past karma, right? Somebody's got some good karma, they get some wealth. All right? They get wealth. It may be wealth, it may be other things, like Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri. This is all karma, right? Somebody's got good karma, they've got good education, or they've got good looks, or they've got money, or something like this, you see? But what about a devotee? What determines what a devotee gets? Is it the same for a devotee? Is it also depending on their karma? That some devotees got good karma, so he gets more money, or less money? As Krishna got, we hear, giving money to somebody is not very good for them. So, is Krishna going to make it that all the devotees should be poor?
No, Maharaj.
Prabhupada will say, first you deserve, then according to what one deserves in the service of Krishna, then Krishna will provide.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Titala Madhavi Mataji, what do you say?
Maharaj, if that person, if by getting the opulence, it is not detrimental to devotional service, then Krishna will provide opulence.
Yeah, if it's not detrimental to devotional service. It should be useful for his devotional service, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, if you're going to use it for Krishna's service, then Krishna can provide it. Can you think?
If you look at the history, Maharaj, the most richest person on the earth are the devotees.
Really?
Prahlad Maharaj and again Dhruv Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, they are the richest person. So Krishna gives, he doesn't take actually.
Oh. What about in the present times?
Ambarish Prabhu Maharaj.
Yeah. Well, Krishna took all his wealth away. Right? He gave it all to Mayapur. He doesn't have any money now.
Yes.
That's what they think. That's how it was described here in Mayapur one time. Bhakti Purushottam Swami was talking. He said that Ambarish has become like a beggar now, because he gave everything to build the temple, and he comes and asks people to help to to build the temple. And so, yeah, Krishna can give and Krishna can take. We saw Krishna give. Who did he give to? Who did he give money to when they needed it? Can you think of?
Brahmaraj?
Huh?
Sudama Vipra?
Sudama Vipra? Yeah, he gave, that's right, he gave Sudama so much opulence. Did Sudama want it?
No, he didn't want it, Maharaj.
He didn't want it, right? Krishna made him take it. It's an austerity for him. Somebody...
Even for Dhruva also, King Dhruva.
Yeah, Dhruva also didn't want, but Krishna said, no, you have to take it now. You did all this austerity, you have to take it and go.
Maharaj, even Bali Maharaj also, initially he took, but afterwards he gave.
Okay, Bali Maharaj, he got the subterranean heavenly planets, right? Sutala Loka. And we see also Raghunath Das Goswami was at Radhakund. He needed money to renovate, to make a nice bathing lake at Radhakund. And there was one man, he was going to Badrinath with a lot of gold, but he got a dream telling him, take this money to Radhakund and give it to Raghunath. He needs it. So the man followed the dream and he came down and he went to Radhakund and he gave all his wealth to Raghunath. And Raghunath, that's how we have the big lake there at Radhakund.
And Maharaj Sanatan Goswami also, he got the money to make the Mother Mohan temple?
Yes, right.
Maharaj, even Priyavrat Maharaj also, no? He didn't want to become king. He wanted to remain in the Krishna service, but by Brahmaji's...
Lord Brahma came and said, you have to go, right? You have to do your duty. We need somebody to be king. And Swayambhuva Manu wants to retire. So you have to go. Narada was not agreeing at first. Narada was saying, don't go, Maya. But Lord Brahma came and said, no, he has to go. So Narada Muni had to agree. So Priyavrata went and became the king, and later on renounced everything. So Krishna can give when you need something. You need it for Krishna's service. Krishna, just like Prabhupada needed people, he needed people they were needing people to type. Prabhupada had so many things, he'd written so much, and nobody knew how to type. And suddenly just this boy walked in the door, a stranger, and he offered, he said, anything I can do to help? And they said, you know how to type? He said, oh yeah, sure. And he sat down, he typed out all the Prabhupada scripts, he typed up everything. And then, so after he finished typing, he just disappeared again. They never saw him again. So Krishna sends people. Mother Malati was describing, they needed money, they needed to pay the rent, they had no money. Somehow somebody just came and gave a donation just enough to pay all the rent. They don't know who he was, he just came. Krishna arranges. Krishna takes care of the devotees. When the devotees are surrendered, Krishna will reciprocate, right? What's the verse in Bhagavad Gita?
Ananyashchintayanto mam yajana pariyupasate tesham nityavayuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam.
Yes, right. That's right. Yogakshema vahamyaham. For one who meditates on my transcendental form and worships me with love, for him I carry what they lack, I preserve what they have. So we have to develop this full dependence on Lord Krishna. This is our real business as devotees, right? Just simply depending on Krishna and taking shelter of Krishna. So we have to train our minds constantly to think of Krishna. And that's why we chant japa every day, That's why we have to have morning program, we have to do these things. Make our mind chaste, that we will never go away from Krishna. Even if you're cursed, even if we're cursed and we're put into the demon body, we'll never forget Krishna. You see the wonderful thing about Vṛtrāsura, that although he was in the demon body, he didn't lose his bhakti. He didn't lose his bhakti, right? What does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita about bhakti? How does he describe it? What's the translation?
I am available by bhakti only.
No, I was thinking of another verse. I'm thinking that... And I'm thinking... the verse I'm thinking of is a little advancement on this path can save one from the greatest danger. Yeah, in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on the path saves us from the greatest danger. So this is whatever bhakti we have, we'll never lose it. It's going like it goes in your bank account, you know. But you know, material world, the bank account's not eternal, but our devotional bank account, that is eternal. That doesn't get taken out. That will stay. That we can build on that. Whatever bhakti, whatever service we do for the Lord is for our eternal benefit. Yeah?
Sorry,
Okay. Okay, any other points here about Vṛtrāsura? We want to make him our hero, right? We need heroes. You know, the people who have heroes today, they're all demons, you know. They're demons, but they're not demons like Vṛtrāsura. Vṛtrāsura is a demon devotee. But the demons, the heroes today, the so-called heroes are just sinful vikarmis. But the real hero here in Srimad Bhagavatam is Vṛtrāsura. And he's preaching to Indra. Indra is supposed to be king of heaven, but he's getting a good lesson in devotion from Vṛtrāsura. What it means to be a devotee, to surrender, to be the servant of the servant, and to fix the mind on the Lord at every moment. Okay, so we'll stop here tonight. We'll meet you again on Monday night, right? We'll finish off this Vṛtrāsura, 2 chapters. Next class we're going to do 2 chapters. We'll hear about the death of Vṛtrāsura, and we'll go on to Indra's sinful reactions to finish the unit. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki. Go back to Vrinda ki. Hare.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay.
His Holiness Vighnavinashaka Nrsimha Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Bol.